Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to look at UGG. Yeah, UGG. I said UGG. Um, yeah, this is a card game for 2 to 6 players for ages 8 and up, with the average play time being about 20 minutes a game. As best as I can describe this game, it's a push your luck set-making game with a caveman theme. I'll give you a few seconds to process that. But yeah, it's actually pretty easy to play despite how weird that sounds. So let's just go ahead and take a look at what came in the box and how the game is played. Now here's a quick look at the components. Basically it's just cards, 110 cards. You've got some numbered cards, some are purple, some are green, some are orange, and they range in value between 1 and 5. There's more 1s than 5s, and it basically scales that way. There are more 1s and 2s, then it starts to taper down around the 3s, and then there's a few 4s and a few 5s. You've also got these UGG cards, which are sort of like negative cards that penalize the player in some way, though they do have some benefits depending on how they are played and when they come up. You've also got these wild cards. You've got like a overall wild card for every color, like this one. Then you've got wild cards that are specific to one color. So in the deck, you've got like one purple wild and one green wild, one orange wild, different things like that. And finally, you've got these basic turnover cards. Again, this is a push your luck kind of game. As these come up, it'll automatically end your turn. With regard to game setup, you may want to get a piece of paper and pencil because this is really complicated. The first thing that you'll do is take the deck and shuffle it up and put it in the center of the table. No, I was kidding. That's all there is to it. That's it. But anyway, joking aside, all you'll do is you want to reserve some space to the left and to the right of the deck. The left space is the discard pile. You'll also have 3 imaginary spaces after the draw deck representing each of the 3 safety piles, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. Just keep that in the back of your mind. You're going to want some space over here, and you're going to want some space over here. Now on a player's turn, what they'll do is they'll go ahead and take the card from the top of the deck and place it into the first safety pile. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, now if this were an UGG card or a turnover card, their turn would be over, and I'll explain that in a minute. But it's a number card, so they have a few options here. They can opt to take any of the numbered cards in the 3 safety piles. Again, you're going to have 3 different cards here, or 3 different piles here. Because this is the first turn of the game, there's nothing here. But anyway, they can opt to take any of the 3 cards that they want, or they can push their luck and keep going. The second card that they draw, if they decide to keep going, goes into the second safety pile. So again, they have the option. They can take from any of the 3 available piles, or they can opt to keep going. Let's just say he wants to opt to keep going. There's the third card. It goes into the third safety pile. Once again, he can take from any of the 3 piles, and then or opt to keep going. Finally, if he opts to keep going, he has to keep this next card. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So if he draws whatever he draws, he has to keep it. And in this case, he went ahead and pushed his luck, and he happened to get a 4, which is a pretty decent card. And he would simply play that in front of them. And with these cards played in front of them like this, they'll be able to play sets on their turn. Now, at any time during their turn, they can go ahead and play sets. To do that, you'll need cards of each of the 3 colors. So you'll need 3 cards to create a set, and each card has to be a different color. So let's just scan the deck real quick for 2 different colors. There we go. There's green, and there's blue, or purple rather. So let's just assume for the moment that this player had these 3 cards in front of him after a series of turns. What he'll do in order to score this set, and they don't have to score it if they don't want to, but let's just say they do, you'll take these 3 numbers and multiply them together to get their worth. And you can you can keep a tally as you go, or you can, at the end of the game, just simply, add them all up then. It's up to you however you want to do it. But you'll go ahead and multiply these values together. You've got a 4, a 1, and a 1. Now, again, you don't have to score right away. You can wait to see if you would get something higher. Let's just say that this player decides to wait and doesn't score that, and somewhere along the line gets a 3. Now he'll go ahead and score that because it's going to be worth more. 4 times 1 and times 1 is only 4, but 4 times 3 times 1 is 12. So that's actually a better deal for this particular player. So let's just say he goes ahead and scores this particular set. He'll just place that off to the side into a separate score pile like so. And once again, you can keep a running tally as you score these things, or you can just simply place these piles off to the side, and then at the end of the game, add them all up to get your total points. Just you want to keep, just make sure that you're separating these piles so that they're not getting all mixed up. Like if you put 3 like so, you want to put the next 3 possibly sideways, and then the next 3 down like this, and then the next 3 sideways, just so you remember which cards belong to which set. You could also opt to do face up, and then face down, and then face up again, and so on and so forth, however you want to work it. Okay, now I fast-forwarded things just a little bit, and I should probably note that this is a completely bogus setup. I just sort of put cards wherever I felt like it for example purposes. But you've got the cards that this player has currently accrued in this temporary area here. You've got the cards that this player up here has accrued over the course of the game that haven't made sets yet up here. And of course you've got your 3 safety piles here, you've got your deck, and you've got a discard pile here. And each player's own score pile is off to the side. Now, let's just go through another example. In this case, let's just say it is this player's turn. They'll go ahead and draw the top card from the deck. It is a orange 2, and let's just say he wants to push his luck. He doesn't like any of the cards in the 3 safety pile, so he's going to keep going. Now the next one happens to be an UG card. Now these have to be resolved immediately, and in this case it is a -3, meaning that he has to discard 3 of his cards. Now he'll go ahead and pick the ones obviously that have the lowest value because, you know, they're worth less. So let's say he gets rid of this 1, and this 2. Now these, along with the UG card, are placed into the discard pile and the turn automatically ends. Something to note about the UG card: if it is the first card that a player draws on their turn, they will resolve it as normal. However, they'll get to put it into their score pile to score some extra points at the end of the game. Now let's just, again, say for the sake of argument that it is this player's turn now. This player's going to go ahead and draw the top card from the deck. Now this happens to be a wild card, and this is a good example. There are 2 things you can do with a wild card should you keep it. The wild card can just be kept and played like any other number of that particular color, or you can opt to discard it if you happen to take it, and take any card of that color from your opponent. So in this case, the discard of the purple wild will allow this player to take the purple 3 that the opponent has, or they can opt to take the all-purpose wild card here. In this case, we'll just say that this player opts to take the purple 3, and of course, because he took the wild from the draw, that would end their turn. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Players will take turns taking cards as they draw them and trying to score as many points as they can. The game ends right before the player takes the last card from the draw deck. When that is about to happen, all the players will be given the opportunity to score any sets they can. But once that last card is drawn and resolved, then the game will end, and each player will take a look at their score pile and add up all the points there if they haven't done so already throughout the course of the game. Now, it's worth mentioning that those UG cards, again, you can get these UG cards into your score pile if it's the first card that you draw on your turn. Those are worth 3 points apiece. But each player will go ahead and add up the points from each set to get a grand total. And players will compare their grand totals, so whoever has the highest amount wins. And there you have it, a quick look at UG. Once again, I didn't cover all of the rules found in the manual, but this should just give you a nice general overview as far as how the game is played and whether or not it's something you'd like to play. With that said, you can check out my full review at www.dadsgamingaddiction.com. If you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you can keep up to date on any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.